Disclaimer: the following video contains the usage of copyrighted material related to the intellectual property of the Walt Disney Corporation and other related companies. This is not intended to be an endorsement or an attempt at claiming said copyrighted material as our own. This is simply a review of someone's work on the VRChat platform. With that being said, that also applies to the work that is the subject of this episode. This is the creation of fans and hobbyists who like the depicted series and is for entertainment purposes only. With that in mind, please don't sue us and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to Across the MetaVRse, a digital journey across the budding virtual frontier. In this series, we explore community-made content inside virtual reality. In today's episode, our journey brings us to the platform of VRChat. VRChat is often defined by its chaos, a collision of disparate avatars and noisy public lobbies. But then, there are the outliers. Worlds that demand a specific kind of attention and interaction. Several aspects of pop culture shape platforms like this one to exist. One of note, specifically, is the TRON franchise. The concept of a virtual world with purely digital lifeforms has been a topic of fierce discussion across tech and entertainment for years now. While TRON may be a work of fiction, the grid itself is now real. A1, otherwise known as Mooney, has recreated the grid from TRON Legacy in her own unique art style. While most other creators aim for realism or a cozy vibe, Mooney aims for presence. When you step into their work, you aren't just looking at a Tron-themed room or just a neon landscape. You're being integrated into the grid itself. And it's structured to look as if you're actually there, and the world you've been placed into goes on forever. In this 15-minute spotlight, we're going to have a look at two worlds that Mooney has created, and why they're the gold standard for VR world creation. We begin at the hub. This space serves as the connective tissue for the Disciples of TRON community. It's predominantly a meeting space for events, but it also humanizes the day-to-day life of a computer program. At first glance, it's a lobby, but look closer at the geometry. There's a rhyme and reason to the shapes in front of you. It's a city street, lined with high-rise buildings with ships whizzing past you or circling above. Every corner is urbanized with shops and businesses that you can enter. While there are cars and light cycles driving down the street, don't worry, they can't hurt you as you cross to the other side. To the far right, there's a general store with some avatars and a mirror to have a look at them. These were submitted by community members to be displayed here. At the center is the Disc Arena entrance with portals to R3 Battle Discs and Quaddies Battle Discs. These are primarily used during group game nights when they go and do disc battles. It's even got a cool hologram of a disc on the top of the cover. The far left has a bar with a video player, so you can relax with friends and play music. But this isn't everything you can do here. There are so many other places to hang out with friends, relax, or step away for a moment. I'll leave those aspects for you to explore. Stepping out of a typical VRChat world and into TRON Horizons is a sensory shift. If the hub is the lobby, then this is the universe. The scale here is staggering. Mooney manages to push the limits of what the VRChat engine can render by using distance as an atmospheric storytelling and world building tool. The fog, the flickers, and the crackles of a thunderstorm overhead, the distant glow of the city, it creates a sense of infinite space. Also, the shape of the skybox from the perspective of the entrance makes you believe that it goes on forever, even though it's only comprised of 2 sizable areas. Although, with so much space to explore, how does one get around? Let's talk about a major aspect of this world. Unlike the hub, the vehicles aren't just automatically driving themselves with an animation. This time, with the use of the Saxflight vehicle prefab, please no comments on the name, that's just what it's called. Anyways, thanks to the implementation of this prefab, every single vehicle here you can operate for yourself. Near the world spawn are 2 light runners, sort of a dune buggy, for the rugged terrain of the Outlands. You and a small group of friends can drive it into the city. Be careful when turning it at high speeds, as the vehicle traction is set very low. Driving carelessly will cause you to spin out of control, or worse, crash your vehicle, which greatly damages it. This consequently reduces its health over time, and if gone unchecked, will result in it exploding. In an even worse scenario, you could lose it off the edge of the world, and be forced to either reload the instance of the world, or beg a moderator, if present at all, to respawn it. So please, be careful. Alongside the light runners are the iconic light cycles of varying colors. The standard bikes include purple, yellow, orange, red, green, blue, white, and pink. These bikes are available in any instance of the game, but are strictly limited to 1 per color due to optimizing the world for MetaQuest players. I personally don't mind, as nobody picks the pink bike, but me, most of the time. There are also these bikes based on the models from 1982, but most of the time in DOT instances, they are reserved as pursuit vehicles for the moderation team. Otherwise, in a free instance, you're free to take them. Compared to the light runners, the light cycles handle much more tightly, kind of like a real motorcycle. Also, the light cycles in the franchise are streamlined and built for speed, so it makes sense that they can turn easier and quicker without the risk of spinning out and wrecking. Granted, that is still a risk, but much less so compared to the light runner. Aside from performance, you're allowed 1 passenger to ride with you on each bike. So 1 friend, or perhaps a special someone, can ride along with you as you speed across the world. Not me though, I get no knights or maidens. As an added bonus, the bike leaves a light trail behind. It doesn't destroy or damage other people's vehicles like in the movies. However, it's a cool just for show inclusion that wasn't necessary, but fun to have. Also, it's the little details like this that Mooney has included that equally makes the world just that much more immersive and interesting. The final vehicle to go over in this world is the Recognizer, the one and only flying vehicle here. There's lots of passenger seating, so if you manage to figure out how to fly it, your friends can come along too. There was previously another Recognizer that was white, but sadly it had to be removed for the sake of optimizing for the MetaQuest side of the VRChat platform. Luckily, one was able to stay. This vehicle in the franchise is often piloted by villains or military personnel. So, often in moderated instances of the world, you'll see staff members piloting them across the world and ferrying players to the city. I'm not even going to explain how to fly it, as, if I can be totally honest, I can't figure out how to save my life. Every time I try flying it, I end up flying it off the edge of the world, or straight into TRON's tower and crashing it so bad that it explodes. Also, I'm not going to show that, as many have commented that it looks like a certain disaster, which I'm not going to bring up here. However, speaking of crashing, there is a way to counter that issue on your travels. If your vehicle's health is running low and starts smoking, carefully take it to the garage in the back of the city, where you can easily recharge it while it's parked. But vehicles aren't everything. There's parts of the world that are equally enjoyable on foot. To the left of the city entrance, there's apartments you can go to if you need some time alone from others, or if you're into sleeping in VR. We don't judge here. There's also a movie theater where you can put links to your favorite music or videos and watch them with your friends. It's pretty spacious, so if you wanted to host a movie night, you totally could. Now, the top place to hang out in this world is none other than Flynn's Arcade, which resides in the main city intersection. Not only is this a key location from TRON, but it's also the place to gather. It's even got some working arcade games that are really addicting and you can get lost in for hours. As of right now, there are only 2 games that you can play inside Flynn's. The first game is called Suika. It's a lot like Tetris, however, instead of just levels of block stacking, you have to match these fruit orbs by stacking random ones without spilling any over the edge. This is quite the favorite here, and many people crowd around this one cabinet just to play it. The other is an Atari-style Flappy Bird game, where you control a helicopter. This game isn't as popular as Suika, but it's definitely worth playing every once in a while. Much like the light cycles and other vehicles present here, these 2 are prefabs that you can insert into your world. While Mooney herself didn't make these games, I think it was very thoughtful of her to include these in the city area. It's all the more immersive when you can step into an arcade and actually play some real arcade games. Sadly, I'm not very good at them, but I have faith you'll be a crack shot at it. There's plenty of other aspects of this world I didn't go over. That's because there's just so much here. Doing every aspect of this world would require its own 30-minute dedicated video, so much like the hub, I'll leave the rest to you. These worlds shatter something very important in terms of what VR is as a platform. Mooney's worlds are proof that VR isn't just for simple games anymore. It's a new medium for experiences, a sandbox that is effectively yours to explore, interact, and just live in. TRON Horizons and the Hub allow us to walk inside a world many of us could only experience through films and arcade games. And it's not just allowed us to see the world of TRON, but more concepts that haven't even been thought of before. As we look to the future of VRChat, the work seen here serves as a North Star. It's a reminder that, with enough technical skill and a clear vision, anyone can build spaces that feel just as real as the world outside our headsets. But this isn't the end of the story for Mooney and making worlds based on TRON. She recently announced last year that a remake of TRON Horizons is underway, and, as of this video, is slated to arrive by late summer of this year. Rather than focusing on mainly TRON Legacy, like the worlds we had looked at in this video, each frontier will represent one cornerstone of the 40-year history of the series. I can't tell too much about it yet, but do come back soon, as we will definitely have a look at it when it goes live. My ranking for this unparalleled work we've seen today is a confident 5 out of 5 stars. If you haven't visited the Hub or TRON Horizons yet, don't just take my word for how cool they are, go and experience the scale for yourself. This has been Across the Metaverse. If you enjoyed today's episode, please check back soon. More episodes are being made right now as this episode airs. And with that, thanks for watching, and have a great day.